Secondary tilt. What is secondary tilt? So if I were to set up mid-core normally, please notice that the club shaft is parallel to the ground, by the way. Notice that my arms are attached to my chest wall. So that when I go into my setup, I'm still attached and I'll relax, okay? So secondary tilt here, I have none. This is secondary tilt. So the trail hip or the lead hip rises, trail hip lowers, trail shoulder drops. My belief, we haven't measured it, but my belief is that the angle of the shoulders and the angle of the hips is equal to the carrying angle when it's set properly. So your upper core player is going to have minimal secondary tilt. Your lower core player is going to have a lot, and your mid core player is going to have something in between. So this would be how I would set secondary tilt for your mid-core player, and we'll take a look at what that does and how to test it here. Ideally, you can see this ball. I'll back up a little bit. So if I'm getting into a mid-core setup, comfortable width here, club shaft is parallel to the ground. If you're using this with your students, they're going to have to use a mirror to get it done. They're going to need to use a mirror to make sure that shaft is parallel to the ground. So when I go into my setup and secondary tilt, notice where I went with my ball position right away. If this is good, if I'm set a secondary tilt that's good, I should be able to bring this club across my shoulders. Everything goes back together. I feel very centered. My lead knee should be going right at the ball, and I come back and I am totally square, okay? So that's secondary tilt. That's the first phase. Let's do that one more time. Mid-core, shaft is parallel to the ground. Everything goes together. Notice that my ball position is a little center of forward. Bring the club across my shoulders. And now everything back together. Lead knee goes to the ball. And then as I turn back through, I'm going to rotate back to impact this time. Turn back to impact. And I am stand up, checking the downswing club path. I am square. So that setup worked. Now that's only for the mid-core player. So if you're upper core, you're starting with that trail hip and you're narrower. If you're lower core, you're wide and you're starting with your shoulders. However, setting the club on the ground from this position is key, from this parallel position. So let me show you that, down the line. Well, first thing I want to show you is this same position with no tilt, no secondary tilt. So this is what your students are likely doing. So that's my posture, mid-core, no tilt. I come back, everything's still the same in my backswing. I stand tall, my hips are square. But watch what happens. Watch what happens when I come back to impact without any secondary tilt. Everything back together. Stay very centered. Lead knee at the ball. Back to impact. And look where my hips go. That's without secondary tilt. So what a lot of instructors will teach, and you want to look at this with your students, is that there's a lead lateral motion with there's a lateral motion with a lead hip to start the downswing. I would encourage you, if you're working with a tour player who does it, that's great. I wouldn't, secondary tilt is not necessary. But getting a student to the top, okay, now we're going to go here and turn. That's a lot of work for them to do. Secondary tilt makes it so simple. Your lower core players tend to have it naturally. Now, I was on a call with Jeff Shaw the other day. Jeff, if you'll recall, he's in Seattle where our teaching facility is there. And Jeff was protecting his back and was not far enough over. So we got him a very different posture as an upper court player. There's a 1 or 2 minute short video showing him picking up 20 plus yards with TrackMan just by changing posture. So I'm talking to Jeff, and we're talking about secondary tilt, and he's hitting balls. And as soon as he goes in and tries to hit balls with secondary tilt, not working for him. And he said, I already set secondary tilt, I believe, at address. So don't take it as an absolute, test it. And it's simple to test. You test it without hitting a ball, as I just did. So I'm going to show you now secondary tilt. Okay, I'm going to go back swing everything together for mid-core. I come back to impact with everything together, and I stand tall. So secondary tilt for me, mid-core, is going to work. With my impact position, that club face or that club path is going to be square to the target line, which is really what we're looking for. So you can test all of this with the downswing path, club path test.